open air project. Don't forget to listen to our podcasts and look at some of our content online. We're doing this just for everybody else's benefit. We're not making any money, we don't have any sponsors or anything like that. I'm not affiliated with this company whatsoever, but I think it's good to have somebody who does some good gear reviews and lets you know some honest opinions. So today I'm doing the Millennium M7 Microlite tree stand. I got this tree stand last year. I hunted out of it a couple times, and after I hunted out of it, I realized that I needed to make some changes to it. A lot of guys do a lot of modifications to tree stands. I did quite a few to this, and I'll talk about them here in a little bit. But first of all, let's talk about the tree stand itself coming out of the box. They're claiming that it's 8.5 pounds. I'm not sure it was 8.5 pounds. It might have been, but I doubt it. After some of the modifications I've made to it and everything else, right now it's sitting at 11.2 pounds. I weighed my Lone Wolf tree stand to see what the equivalency was, and the Lone Wolf came in at around 15 pounds. So, and that's with no straps. I mean, you know, backpack straps and everything like that, but no straps to hold on the tree or anything like that. So the weight wise, were they telling the truth on that? Maybe. I mean, I'd added quite a bit of weight to this, so it could have been accurate. So at 11.2 pounds, that's pretty light. You can tell it's lighter. You can feel how light it is, and you certainly notice it whenever you're hiking it through the woods, that's for sure. And that was the main reason I bought the tree stand. The platform is a smaller platform, and it's made out of this expanded aluminum here, and it seemed like it was plenty or enough room for me. I didn't have any issues at all. I think I shot 2 deer out of it last year, and it never felt like it was too small. You know, I'm not a huge guy. I'm 5'11", about 185 pounds, so you know, I fit on it pretty well. I got size 12 feet, but you know, they fit just fine on there. So as far as that goes, the way the tree stand came, it came with this bracket on there, and I'm going to talk about some of the modifications I made now. Some of the things that I didn't like about this tree stand. It came with this bracket on, and it had 2 bolts here and here. You had to pull one of those bolts out, and there was a strap that went around the tree. I didn't love that. I'm used to the Versa button and the Lone Wolf straps, and that's what I did here. I put 2 Versa buttons, one top, one bottom on there, and what I did was I just left this bracket on there. And the reason I left this bracket on there is because it gives you something to hold it to the tree, sort of like the bat wing on the Lone Wolf or what have you, and it works really well. And the way I held that on there was, all I did was I just put 2 zip ties right here to hold it from going up and down. It's not going anywhere. It's not making any noise. I did see where a guy had bolted a bat wing onto this, and I may try that here in a little bit. I'm just not sure about that yet. So I didn't love that part about it, so that's why I went with the Versa button top and bottom. Something else I didn't love is with this tree stand, there's no seat leveling at all. So what I did was I welded a piece of aluminum here, an aluminum bar across right here, as you can see, and then I just tapped it and put a bolt in there. And what that does is it gives you basically the same leveling as what you would have on a Lone Wolf or some of the other tree stands that are out there. One of the other big draws for me on this tree stand also was about how everybody just raved about these seats and how comfortable they were. Because if you're sitting up in a tree stand during the rut, you know, you guys know as well as I do, you sit those all day sits, it can become very, very uncomfortable by the end of the day. Well, I'll say this, that the seat is more comfortable than the Lone Wolf, but because of the shortness of it and it doesn't bend over like the other Millennium seats do, this right here coming across your legs, by the end of the day, you know, it's kind of it's kind of uncomfortable. But the seat itself is pretty uncomfortable, and that seems to work out well. So I do like the seat. The other problem is that it didn't have any leveling for the platform. So when you get up in the tree with the lone wolf, you loosen it up, slide it up. Here what I did was I just added 2 holes and put a wing nut on there, so that way I can pull that bolt, make that adjustment, and then I'm not leaning, like my platform isn't leaning too far forward or too far back. I'm kind of excited about that. I did that this year, so I'm not sure how well that's going to work out up in the tree. But something else, and I added on to this. This expanded aluminum makes a lot of noise. When you're up in a tree stand and you got rubber boots on, they squeak on this expanded aluminum. It's just that part just, if they would have coated it initially, I think that would have really helped. So what I did was I went out and I bought a can of truck bed liner and sprayed this thing down. I actually sprayed the whole thing down with it, and what that did, completely got rid of that squeakiness with my boots, and it also gave me better grip here. This almost feels like grip tape on there now, and I'm not sure it added too much weight to the stand. Not enough to worry about anyways. I'm much happier with the noise factor, the reduction of noise, and everything like that. I would do that again in a heartbeat. So a couple of the final modifications that I made to this, I put backpack straps and a waist belt on it. It does come with backpack straps and they're decent. This waist belt I'm not in love with. I might change it out also. But I also added on this pipe insulation, and this pipe insulation was cheap, and it comes with sticky inside on each side. So basically all I did was I cut it down to the size I wanted. I pulled the strips off, stuck it on there, and it sticks tight, and it's gonna, I mean, it seems like it's gonna work out well. Eventually, will it tear off? Maybe, yeah. But what it does is it gives me a nice padding as I'm carrying that through the woods, and it's not a whole lot of weight. I mean, there's not much weight. You guys know that pipe insulation doesn't weigh much at all, and you know, it's sticking there, and comfort is really important as you're hiking through the woods. Otherwise, these bars that are right here going into the middle of your back, it's not the most comfortable thing as you're hiking that thing through, especially once you add on your backpack, you know, a coat, you know, whatever else it is that you're hiking through the woods. I'm using this tree stand in conjunction with the Hawk Helium sticks, and they fit on here into this bracket really well. And all I'm doing is I zip tied a couple straps onto here, so that way they're always there. I put them over top of the Hawk Helium strap sticks, cinch it down back here and there, and they hold tight there, and it's nice. There's no movement whatsoever. After that, the only other modification I made was I put a zip tie here and on this side, and then at Walmart I got these plastic carabiners, and they've got these clips on them, and all I do is I just clip it right into the zip tie there, and what I'm doing is I'm just pulling that through over my backpack. I put my backpack on top, pull it over, put that right there, and then it cinches down, and I mean, that is tight whenever you get that on there. I don't have to worry about my backpack going anywhere. I can put I can put my coat on top of there. It works out really well. So that's the the Millennium Microlite M7 tree stand. All in all, after the modifications, I like the stand a lot. So much so that I won't be using my Lone Wolf as much this year. I'll use it as a backup because it's a lot lighter. And would I recommend this to You guys, I'd say if you can make all of these modifications by yourself on your own, I'm not telling you to do that. I'm not telling you to modify your tree stand. That's not very safe. But if you can make those modifications and you feel comfortable with it and you're willing to take that risk, I think for the weight factor, it's worth it. So thanks for joining us, and tune in for our next gear review, and make sure you listen to our podcast. Check out our content on www.theopenairproject.com, and we'll see you next time.